Have you ever heard the term sandwich generation? What is the first thing that appears on your mind when you listen to the word sandwich? Is it this food? Well, the term sandwich generation was coined by social worker Dorothy A. Miller in 1981 to describe adult children of the elderly who are sandwiched between caring for their own children and their aging parents. This group of caregivers is subject to unique challenges and stresses, but can also benefit from strong multi-generational bonds. Basically, if we are part of this generation, then we are the sausage or fried egg between two slices of bread. Based on Pew Research Center and National Caregiving Alliance or NCA early research, here are some facts about sandwich generation. The first, more than 1 in 10 adults with a child under 18 also care for aging parents, according to 1917 report on sandwich generation demographics by the Pew Research Center. These caregivers spend about 3 hours a day on unpaid care. Nearly 3/4 of them are employed full-time. That's 21 hours a week of caregiving on top of a 40-hour job. About 60% of sandwich generation caregivers are women. Male and female caregivers spend about the same amount of time a day caring for their aging parents, but mothers, on average, spend about 45 minutes more daily on childcare, regardless of employment status. Sandwich generation caregivers spend an average of 86 minutes less a day on paid work and nearly half an hour less sleeping. Well, me myself do not really agree with the second point where it mentioned that take care of our parents unpaid is a bad thing. As a nation and also a Muslim, I believe that taking care for each other, especially family, is a priceless and valuable thing to do. However, in order to avoid an unbalanced opinion, let me talk about minus and plus about being sandwich generation. The first one is the plus. Quoting from seniorsmatter.com, here are 3 benefits of the sandwich generation household. First, it is trending. Even though this one sounds weird yet funny at the same time, makes sense. Almost a third of young people between the ages of 25 to 34 have moved in with mom and dad at some time over the last few years, and know someone their age who has or is doing the same thing. A 2018 Pew Research Center report showed that in 2016, 1 in 5 Americans live in multi-generational households, and the number is growing among all racial groups. The growth has slowed somewhat since the sharp increase between 2007 and 2009, which was the largest increase in history. Multi-generational living situations are still trending, and sandwich households are not uncommon. The second, life in the same nest can be nice. In fact, living in such a very live society makes me realize that live with people we love the most is a good thing. Family bond is such an unbreakable relationship. Family also means people who could share about everything without being feared to be not respected. There is no doubt we can feel that joy of life at the sameness with these persons. Sharing a household also may allow grandma and or grandpa to age in a loving family home instead of an institution. Social security is still a significant part of many elderly Americans' income, and it frequently isn't enough to sustain independent living. A multi-generational living situation also places grandma and grandpa squarely in a situation where help is in the next room. The last one, or the third, a brighter economic picture. Sharing the bills with mom and dad gives young people some financial leverage to feel cheery about their financial futures, and some 77% feel that way. It helps mom and dad too. Almost 50% of young adults pay rent to the parents, and a full 90% say they have helped out financially in some way. Then, after this, what about the negatives? Well, first, as we know, it is exhausting. Human beings always need that empty space for themselves. Live as a sandwich live as a sandwich generation might feel exhausting and noisy because we have to be concerned to many things and listen to many people. If this isn't bearable anymore, it could be worse and turn into the second mental health issues. Family caregivers are at risk for a range of mental health problems, including depression and anxiety, as a result of increased stress and high demands. Studies show women caregivers in particular are at high risk. Those aspects might make a new dilemma, but in my opinion, there's nothing really harmful as long as the whole family accepting and understanding each other. If the biggest burden for sandwich generation is about medical health, then try to live a healthy life for both young and old generation.